Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name.
Hi, thanks for tuning in to Armor of God again. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. And hopefully you'll find this video edifying, useful, and if it's not too much of a hassle for you, please feel free to share what you've learned here from these priests with your friends and family. Anyway, this will be another video covering my recent interview with Father Joseph Iannuzzi, as well as Father Francis. So the first clip here is of Father Iannuzzi answering one of the questions that one of you submitted before, that you somehow still feel haunted by your past sins.
So the person here is suffering from past sins, even confessed sins that they believe have not been forgiven or gone away. I would refer this person to the diary of St. Faustina Kowalska, entry number 628, that I can share with you. Faustina relates one evening, on the evening of the day before my departure to Vilnius, an elderly sister revealed the condition of her soul to me. She said that she had already been suffering interiorly for several years, that it seemed to her that all confessions had been bad. She had doubts about whether the Lord Jesus had forgiven her. I asked her if she had ever told her confessors about this. She answered that she had spoken many times about this to her confessors, and the confessors are always telling me to be at peace. But I still suffer very much, and nothing brings me relief. And it constantly seems to me that God has not forgiven me. I, Faustina, answered, you should obey your confessor, sister, and be fully at peace, because this is certainly a temptation from the devil. But she entreated me with tears in her eyes to ask Jesus if he had forgiven her and whether her confessions had been good or bad. I answered forcefully, ask him yourself, sister, if you don't believe your confessors. But she clutched my hand and did not want to let me go until I had given her an answer. And she kept asking me to pray for her and to let her know what Jesus would say about her, crying bitterly. She would not let me go and said to me, I know that the Lord Jesus speaks to you, sister. Since she was clenching my hand and I could not wrench myself away, I promised I would pray for her. In the evening during benediction, I heard these words from Jesus. Tell her that her disbelief wounds my heart more than the sin she committed. When I told her this, she began to cry like a child, and great joy entered her soul. I understood that God wanted to console this soul through me, even though it cost me a great deal. I fulfilled God's wish. Unquote.
And then for the next clip will be from my interview with Father Francis, where I asked him about aliens. Now, the reason why I asked him about aliens is because of this article on the website, the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, entitled Angels or Aliens? Some researchers say Vatican archives hold UFO secrets. And in the article, Father Francis' name was mentioned. That is why I wanted to ask him about the aliens and probably provide the Vatican's position on the whole thing rather than simply aliens or demons, because I just showed you a screenshot of the article on the USCCB website. Zero mention of aliens in the article.
I have had a number of people talking to me about aliens for years, all right? And give you an example of a very good friend of mine who was an artist in Boston. His name was Paul Laffoley. Interesting that his name, Laffoley, means la folia, the folly or the madness, right? So he was a great character, and I learned a lot from him about painting, for one thing, but also about different spiritual traditions, all right? Now, he claimed that he had had contact with aliens, okay, and that there were different categories, good, bad, and neutral, you know. And he even claimed that he had been implanted at a certain point with something in his brain by some of these aliens. Okay. So that to me, of course, was his folly, right? I mean, his imagination, which was, something to respect, but maybe not to take literally, kind of thing. Uh, I know people who have had dreams that were very, very dramatic and seemed that they were, the famous alien encounter dreams where you're taken up into the spaceship and they, perform medical operations on you and all this kind of stuff. I've known people that have had that too, but then that's dream states. All right. Now, if you notice a few months ago, where was it? More than a year ago, they said they were going to have this big revelation in Congress in the United States, and they had, a panel discussion and questions and answers, and poof, everything stopped. Everything stopped. There was nothing more after that. And the same thing goes for attempts to find the so-called material remains of alien spaceships and, this kind of thing. So let's say this. It is possible that there have been alien contacts or unexplained contacts, all right? Because we don't even know where they came from. So there may be such things. But the evidence for it is really, really hard to pin down. And since it's hard to pin down, it's also hard to prove, right? And I've really been hearing about this from people on different levels, for many years. Also, some of the most fervent, I won't mention any names, but some of the most fervent researchers who have talked to me about this and, right? All right, say, oh, surely the Vatican knows something, and shouldn't we go there and try to get the Holy See to let us see their archives and blah, blah, blah. Well, nothing has ever come of this. All right. And then when Cardinal Fernandez, was asked about this, he said, well, when it has something to do with religion, then maybe we'll have an answer, which is an evasive reply. But I think evasive in the sense that he's saying, really, we don't have any evidence, right? And there's certainly nothing that has anything to do with our faith in whatever evidence there may be. Okay, nothing. All right. So where do these guys get the idea that aliens are demons? All right. I mean, we don't even know that there are aliens, much less calling them demons. Demons we know there are. All right. We have centuries of experience with that. We know the rite of exorcism. We know how, that it is possible through faith and prayer to liberate people from the demonic. But where's the connection between demons and aliens? Absolutely zero. Zero. And so this is a good example of how, the internet can be used to, well, attract attention to sensationalism, right? And maybe I'm not so famous precisely because I'm not into sensationalism. I try to be, at least halfway sober, on these issues, because I mean, if we take it as entertainment, then that's for somebody else. Because I'm a priest, I'm not an entertainer. All right. If somebody wants to entertain us with ghost stories, that's a literary form or a film form. Let them do it. That's somebody might find that entertaining. But what we're talking about, is the life of God within us, our sanctification, the fullness of life, caring for others. That's our story, right? So that's what we do. you know.
Well then, that will be all for the video this time. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us, and hopefully all of you have at least learned something from this video. And remember, if there's any feedback or suggestion, please let us know in the comments below. Anyway, if you like what we do and you'd like to support us, I left a link to our PayPal donation in the description box below, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your continuous support, contributions, and prayers. And until the next one, thanks again for watching and may God bless you.